A few days ago, Vercel released a suite of serverless storage solutions, including Vercel KV, a serverless-ready solution, Vercel Postgres, a serverless SQL database built for the front end, and Vercel Blob, a solution to upload and serve files at the edge. With these storage options, front-end developers can store and retrieve data without having to worry about servers or infrastructure, making the development process much smoother and more efficient. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use Vercel Postgres in your project. And to do so, I'll be reviewing the code of one of our Vercel Postgres templates. This particular template uses SvelteKit. However, we do have a few other Postgres examples in our templates marketplace that uses Nuxt or Next, if you prefer one of those. I will link our templates marketplace in the description below if you want to go clone one of these templates and follow along. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to quickly demo this project that we'll be working with. Here we have a really simple app built with SvelteKit and Tailwind that fetches users from our Postgres database and displays them in a table. And we're also marking how long it took to fetch the users. So to get started, let's go to our Vercel dashboard, and I've already created a new project and pushed up some template code to it. Now, the first thing we do is create a Postgres store. We can do this here in the dashboard by clicking the Storage tab, and then the Create button. Now we need to select Postgres, give our database a name and a region, which is done for us, and then finally hit Connect. And just like that, our database has been created and connected to our project. Now, let's open this project in our text editor and pull our env variables from Vercel using Vercel env pull. If you haven't already linked your project, this won't work. You're going to have to link it first. And you can do that by running Vercel link in your terminal. Now you can see an env file has been created with all of our env variables. Next, we just need to install Vercel Postgres, and we can do this by running npm i @vercel/postgres. And okay, now our project is all set up to use Vercel Postgres. So let's move into our server route where we're loading this data. If we scroll down this file, you'll see we have our basic page endpoint where we are using the load function to load our data. It's important to point out that this file contains .server in the file name, which means it's only going to run on the server. Without this file name extension, the load function would run on both the client and the server. Now, this load function is going to return two values: our users returned from the database and the amount of time it took to fetch our users. So here, the first thing we're doing is getting the start time, which we'll use later to compute the total duration. And next, we're fetching our users from the database using the SQL tagged literal, which I'm importing at the top of this file from Vercel Postgres. The SQL function is recommended for one-off queries, and it automatically creates a database connection for you and connects to the database specified in our Postgres URL environment variable. Now we've fetched our users, so we can compute the duration value and return these two values to our page like this. Now, it's possible that the database may not have any users in it. So for example, in our current case, we just created this database, so it has no users. And in this case, when we try to retrieve our users, it's going to throw an error that users does not exist. So we want to seed data into our database. So you can see here, we try to fetch users, and if it throws an error, we check if the error is due to users not existing. And if this is the case, we call our seed function. And this seed function is defined up here in our file. And this function just creates our users table and then adds 3 users into our database. And then after seeding in some data, we can once again retrieve the users from our database, calculate the duration, and again, return these values to our page. Finally, if the error was caused by something else, we're just throwing the error. Now, if we check back in our page, the return value of our load function is available to us via the data prop. So now, using this data prop, we can pass the values of users and duration into our table component as props. And then in this table, we can display them like this. So now let's commit this code and check it out back in our Vercel dashboard. So we can see that we have a new deployment in progress. This is because anytime you make a commit, Vercel's Git integration automatically detects this and will redeploy for you. So if we go ahead and click on the project, we can see that the app is loading our users in the table. And if we go back to our Vercel dashboard, we can actually go to our storage tab, click into this Postgres store, and we can browse our data. So if we search the table for users, we'll see our user data has successfully been added. Now, if we go back to the app once again and refresh the page, the data is once again being fetched from the database, and this time no data had to be seeded in since we already have users existing in the database. And we also see the fetch duration has updated. Okay, so that's a really quick overview of how easy it is to get started with Vercel Postgres and add it to your project. As I mentioned before, this template is available at our templates marketplace, and we also have other Postgres templates using Nuxt or Next, and we have templates for the other storage options as well if you want to go check them out. I will link our templates marketplace in the description below. I will also link the Vercel documentation to check out all these different storage solutions if you'd like to do that. Otherwise, I hope this was a good starting point for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.